You are listening to the Free to Be Mindful podcast, which invites you along on a journey to learn of mindful living, grow in mental health, and inspire through personal growth. In a world where we can often feel much stress and overwhelm, this podcast provides bite-sized tips and real talk conversations, empowering you to embrace mindfulness and nurture your full potential. I'm your host, Vanessa De Jesus Guzman, licensed therapist, retired educator, entrepreneur, and mom of two. I'm passionate about helping busy moms reduce the overwhelm and to live life intentionally without losing their, well, here we go. Hi, and welcome back to the Consult a Counselor series, where I answer parenting related questions so that you can be present and at ease with your child and live life mindfully. Today's question is, my kid has been diagnosed with ADHD. How can I support him at home? Well, first, thank you for the question and great timing as October is ADHD Awareness Month. I always say that having a diagnosis is super beneficial, not just for the label, but really because when you have an explanation for the behavior, then you best know how to help, especially how to help your child. And managing ADHD at home can be really successful with having a lot of strategies in place that promote structure, understanding, and support. The first tip I have for you is creating a structured environment. And what that looks like is first, having consistent routines. Your child should know exactly what they're going to do in the morning and after school and bedtime, because this provides predictability. And predictability means that hopefully everything is consistent and they know exactly what the rules are, and it reduces overwhelm and increases their chances of being successful. The second thing is to have a structured environment. You also want to make sure that you have the consistent expectations for them, and they are going to hopefully live up to those expectations. And if they don't, at least they don't change every day. And that is also going to provide higher rates of success for your child. The second is having organizational tools. And what I mean by that is having visual aids that remind kids exactly of what they have to do. Also, make sure that you have consistent areas where certain things go. So, certain areas where school supplies go, where toys go, or socks go, personal items go. This minimizes clutter and confusion. You may still have to remind them over and over to put it away, but at least they're going to know exactly where that away means and is. The third tip is to break tasks into manageable steps. And in education, we call this chunking. You want to take a big task and chunk it down into smaller, more manageable, more digestible pieces so that it doesn't seem as big or as hard. With helping with manageable steps, you also want to set timers, because sometimes we can give them one step to do, but they get distracted and end up doing a gazillion other things other than that one thing that you told them. So using timers really encourages focus and helps them achieve that task, hopefully in less amount of time than you set. I do this with my own tween as well. And before I even give him directions, I make sure that we're making eye contact, because if I yell directions from far away, they're less likely to get done. So after making eye contact, then I give him no more than 2 to 3 things to do at a time. And because we've already practiced this a ton, now instead of saying a whole string of sentences strung together, I just tell him 3 words. Let's say when we get home from school: lights, hands, backpack. And that means lights, turn off the lights from the stairs, wash your hands, and put your backpack in place. So the more that you practice this and keep it short, the better it'll be for your kids. The next tip is limit distractions. We want to make sure that when they're doing homework, especially, or when they're reading, that the TV is not on, that a younger sibling isn't making a lot of noise. You control what you can. And when you limit distractions, you want to make sure that all screens, including watches and switches and iPads and TVs, any type of screen, is put away if they don't need it for their homework, because it's just really easy to get distracted and to give in to those urges and notifications. The next tip is positive reinforcement. Use praise and rewards, especially if your child is young, whether it be rewards or a token system, something that really celebrates their efforts and their achievements. And you also want to focus on strengths. If we're always putting our kids down, well, you didn't do this right and you forgot this again, then they're less likely to even want to do well the next time. We want to make sure that we really push them with encouragement and not just with telling them what they missed doing. And the next step is model coping strategies. And this is a big one, even though you asked, how can you support him at home? It doesn't help them perhaps get things done. But when you model coping strategies, when big feelings come up, then they're going to know how to handle those feelings with much more ease and hopefully quicker, and then get back to the things that they need to get done. So you want to talk about how to manage stress and not just talking about it, but you want to show them how you do it successfully so that they can also learn how to calm down, relax, or cope with big challenges. And be patient because this is a lifelong thing that sometimes we even need additional patience for. With that, you want to teach relaxation techniques, see what it is that works for your kid, and give them breaks when they're doing big tasks and infuse those relaxation techniques in so that they're doing things with breaks. And again, hopefully that'll lead to more success. And you want to encourage physical activity. And that's hard when it starts getting cold outside, especially if you live in the Northeast or anywhere that it gets cold. But you want to make sure that they're moving their body and getting the energy out so that you don't have a lot of energy consuming them. And the last tip is to seek professional support if you need to. It's not just about having the label and perhaps getting them a 504. Listen to last week's consult a counselor if you want more information about that. But you also want to make sure that they have the supports in place that they need. So if they're not getting it all at home, that's where you would go and hire a licensed therapist so that they can help put in these things in place and help them with these coping strategies and relaxation techniques so that your child again can reach success, not only when ADHD gets in the way, but when other life's big things get in the way as well. Implementing these strategies at home can create an environment that supports your child's unique needs and help them thrive while still managing their ADHD symptoms. I have done other episodes on ADHD that perhaps may be of benefit to you as well, so I'm going to put those in the show notes. The one is another consult a counselor episode that was, I think my kid have ADHD. What do I do? And I did episode 169, where I talked with a professional that lives in focus with ADHD. That was an episode title, and that is episode 169. So I hope that helps. If you think it can help another mom or dad friend, please be sure to share this episode with them and hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss the next video. If you have any questions for the Consult a Counselor series, simply go to the show notes and click the link to the form that you can anonymously provide your question there. And remember, my friends, that I am here to help you out. So ask away. And also remember that in a world where you are free to be anything that you want to be, you are always free to be mindful. Thanks so much and catch you next time.